Lee Summit is your destination for big city vibes and small town charm.
Head to the downtown Lee Summit Farmers Market, where local meets fresh. Then grab a cup of coffee and discover a variety of shops and boutiques just around the corner. Continue the fun in downtown Lee Summit at a retro arcade bar. Discover your new beer at one of our 6 locally owned breweries. Cool off with some handcrafted cocktails at happy hour. End the night with live music and good company. Lee Summit, Missouri.
Hello, Lee Summit. I'm Laura, and this is your flash briefing for the week of February 10th. City Council will meet for regular session Tuesday night at 6 in Council Chambers and City Hall. Meetings are open to the public or watch live on the city's YouTube channel. If you can't watch, catch the recorded meeting on demand on the YouTube channel or by subscribing to the Council Debrief newsletter, which breaks down 3 to 4 key agenda items. Subscribe at cityofls.net. Take Time to Be Kind Week is February 10th through the 15th, and it is 1 week devoted to random and purposeful acts of kindness throughout the Lee Summit community. Community members, students, and businesses are encouraged to participate. The Human Relations Commission will host 2 activities in the City Hall lobby throughout the week. The public is asked to share their acts of kindness on social media using hashtag LSKindness. Learn more at lskindness.net. Some road news. Northwest Commerce Drive between Northwest Main Street and Northeast Tudor Road will close on February 10th and will remain closed through early May for development-related construction. The area on Southwest 2nd Street between Southwest Noel and Southwest Market Street closed for manhole repair. It has been extended until February 17th. For more information, visit cityofls.net. And a reminder, city facilities will be closed Monday, February 17th for President's Day. Thanks for listening and have a great week.
I'm Assistant Chief Jim Eden.
And I'm Battalion Chief Ben Hicks.
And today we're at Lee Summit Fire Station 3. Fire Station 3 was part of the 2016 no tax increase general obligation bond for public safety initiatives. The station was built and occupied in August of 2020. Unfortunately, due to the pandemic, we've not been able to give tours or have an actual ribbon cutting. So we want to invite you in today to give you the opportunity to see what goes on within a Lee Summit Fire Department station.
Let's go take a tour. This is our admin side of the facility. We use this side mainly for offices. We have a lot of work during the day, whether it's training or doing reports or just generally taking care of the shift that we need to do. At this particular station, Station 3, we do have an assistant chief that works out of here. That person has their own office where they need to manage what's going on throughout the day with the shift and staffing, and as well as running calls out of here. The captain has their own office as well. What the captain does is at this specific station is in charge of both the fire truck that's here as well as the ambulance. And so with all those personnel responsibilities as well as running calls and reports, that's where they work out of. And generally for the rest of the crew, which is somewhere around 5 to 6 individuals, we have rooms to write reports, and we have additional training rooms and other rooms where people can work. Walking into our living area, I think it's important to recognize that we work 48-hour shifts. So in the evenings, after 5 o'clock, after work is done, we may have the opportunity to catch a game or something else as long as we're not running calls. And this gives us the opportunity to do that. When we go into our kitchen, I think this gives you a great reason to know why we go to the grocery store. When you see fire trucks at the grocery store, what we're doing. Also for 2 days working for 48 hours, we buy all our meals at the grocery store, and then we come in here and cook. Just like you guys do at home. So everybody has their own fridge on each shift as well as their own pantry, and then we cook those meals here. Going into the sleeping side of things, we've got a couple different things that are significant. We have our own laundry room, which again is important when we're here for 48 hours. The opportunity to wash and clean our clothes and bedding is very important for hygiene. And walking into where our beds are, we keep the kind of sleeping quarters over on one side of the building. It gives us both easy access out to where our fire apparatus are, as well as kind of keeping it a little bit quieter for those people that have been up all night running calls. We have 11 bedrooms here at this station, and the reason we built it with so many bedrooms is we want to give ourselves as a city the opportunity to expand. So if we need to put another apparatus here or numerous other people working at this station, that's already in place as far as infrastructure goes, and we don't need to go back and try to make it bigger or better, and that's really important for us, especially because the old station was so small. Back out on the apparatus floor, we have doors facilitated as many places as possible, so that way when we're sleeping at night and a call comes out, we can make our way out fairly quickly to get out onto the truck if we need to and run a call. On the other side of the station, we kind of have other stuff that we may want to keep separated if we want to. Physical fitness is very important to us as firefighters. So in order to better ourselves and make sure we're as healthy as we can to do this job, we have our own gym facility here that we kind of go throughout the day when we can and get an opportunity to come in and work out. Our goal when we run calls, when we get back to the station after calls, our goal is to get ready to go back as soon as we can to run another call. So we have the opportunity or capability here to fill up our air tanks. You see firefighters wear the big air tanks on their backs and they use those in a fire. We can come back and fill those up and make sure that we're ready to go again when we're wanting to go run another call. We have our own workshop here. We work on a lot of our tools and making sure that everything's clean and operational, and this gives us the capability to do that, again, to make sure that we have everything we need and we're as capable as we can be running calls throughout the city. Cancer prevention is very important in the fire service right now. Because of that, we have an extractor machine, and what this does is gives us the capability when we come back from a fire, we can put our bunker gear into this machine and get all that really nasty crud off of our gear. Again, kind of getting back to that cancer prevention mode, allowing us to be as clean as we possibly can for the next call. And finally is our bunker gear room. We each have our own individual locker. This gives us the opportunity to store our gear when we're not here working in between shifts, as well as keep a clean extra set on here in case we do run a fire and we need to clean our current gear. Typically, this is where your day starts off at the fire station. You come in and get your gear and put it on wherever you're working that day, and then you end the same way, bringing your stuff back to your locker to go home after working. This is Med 3. This ambulance just currently moved into the station from Station 7. Station 3, since we've had it built, has turned into one of our busiest stations in the city. Therefore, we wanted to provide the best care and the closest unit as we could. So we moved one of our ambulances up, and this became Med 3 for this particular instance. Out of this station, we also have Pumper 3. And that's a fire apparatus that they utilize to run the calls on this west end of the city. The last vehicle that you see is the chief's vehicle. We have 2 shift chiefs on shift every day, and they split the city. And this chief running out of this station typically covers the west and south area of the city, while our chief of Station 2 covers kind of that northeast section of our city, and they divide it up evenly.
Thank you for going on a tour with us today. If you have any other questions about the Lee Summit Fire Department, please go to our webpage at lsfire.net or follow us on Facebook at Lee Summit Fire Department.
Thanks for joining us on the tour.
Have you ever been driving around Lee Summit and wondered what's that going to be? What's being built there? Wow, that went up fast. The Development Minute is here to help, highlighting some of the newest projects in Lee Summit, Missouri.
Popeye's Louisiana Kitchen is coming to the former Lion's Choice at Summit Orchards. The fast food chain known for its fried chicken and spicy chicken sandwiches is scheduled to open in early 2025. Local authentic Mexican restaurant El Toro Loco is coming to Summit Woods Crossing Shopping Center. The restaurant will occupy the former On the Border location and offer dishes like street tacos, enchiladas, and fajitas. El Toro Loco will be opening in early 2025. Pho Noodle Go had a soft opening where the former Pepper Jack's Grill was located in Summit Woods Crossing. The establishment is currently serving a selection of pho noodle soups, appetizers, and daily specials. Pho Noodle Go will fully open in 2025. The Quick Trip located at 1001 Southwest Blue Parkway has begun its redevelopment. The squeaky clean car wash is being demolished to accommodate a new 5,300 square foot QT building and a planned phased rebuild. The current location will remain open during construction. The new QT will open in 2025. Discovery Park, the 3.9 million square foot mixed-use project located off of Northwest Colburn Road and Northeast Douglas Street, is underway, and its first phase, The Village, is being graded. Town Place Suites Hotel by Marriott will be one of the first builds coming to the Village. The hotel will feature spacious rooms with amenities including full kitchens.
That's it for the Development Minute. For more about upcoming projects, visit cityofls.net.
I really love living in our historic downtown. I walk my dog around the shops, take her for, they do pub cups at Poppy's, so you can get ice cream with a little dog biscuit in it, which is her favorite thing in the world. My neighbors, we have block parties together. I really like how welcoming and how vibrant it is. It's an amazing place to live. Lee Summit's a really great community. I love living here, and I just wanted to try to find a way to give back, look out for my neighbors, for the community. I've always tried to be involved. Before serving on city council, I used to volunteer with AFS, which is an organization that hosts foreign exchange students. So my husband and I have hosted kids from around the world and then also volunteered with local families and schools. In my professional life, I'm a paralegal, and then in my personal life, I enjoy reading, sewing. I'm a quilter, so I just finished a log cabin quilt that I'm going to send to my aunt out in DC. I can't claim any of our council accomplishments for myself. This is always a team effort. But I am really excited about the farmers market and event space that we have coming in. It's still in the design phases, but I think it's going to be a really beautiful space, and it's going to really continue keeping our downtown thriving. It's been in progress for a long time, but I think that people are going to really love it when it's done. I think one of my top priorities is going to be attainable housing. That, for example, I've been trying to find a place for my mom in Lee Summit. And it's really challenging finding something that really works for a retiree who doesn't have a huge budget. Just trying to make it more attainable for people no matter where they're at in their lives to be a part of our community. Community is what we make it. Everybody should get involved in whatever way they can, whether that's just voting or whether it's joining a board or a commission or even running for office. What do they say? The world is run by those who show up. So get involved however you can and make a difference in the community.
Can I get a roll call vote or roll call, please?
Chairperson Lovell,
Here.
Mayor Baird,
Here.
Councilmember Pryor.
Here.
All right. Need the approval of the agenda. Can I get a motion, please?
Chair, I move to approve the agenda.
Second.
I got a motion to approve the agenda by Mayor Baird and a second by Ms. Pryor. Can I get a roll call vote?
Mayor Baird,
Yes.
Councilmember Pryor,
Aye.
and Chairperson Lovell.
Aye. Do we have any public comments?
Not that I'm aware of.
Nope.
Okay. So we'll go right into business here. What's that? I thought I heard something. Go right into business here. Item A, 2025-6763, approval of the action letter for the January 13th, 2025 Legislative and Intergovernmental Relations Committee meeting.
Chair, I move to approve the action letter from January 13th, 2025.
Second.
Okay, I got a motion to approve the action letter by Mayor Baird and a second by Ms. Pryor. Can I get a vote, please?
Councilmember Pryor, Chairperson Lovell,
Aye.
Mayor Baird.
Aye.
All right, that'll take us into item B, 2025-6764, discussion, update on legislative actions, the lobbyist report, and that will be presented to us by Mr. Head.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm not going to go through the whole report, but I just want to point out a few things that they had in the report and then give you an update on a couple of items. I have on Monday mornings at 9, I have a Zoom call with our lobbyists to kind of talk about a little bit of an after action and also just to get a heads up on what may be coming for the week. So one of the things I will point out in the report is that it does appear that the decrease in the state has had a decrease in overall revenues coming in, and it was a negative 2.1%. So I'm not sure what impact that will have at this point, but they're going to be at some point talking about budget, and if they continue to see those negative numbers, how that always goes for us. One of the bills that we are following very closely, House Bill 431, this is the land transfer bill, where essentially the Highway Patrol location currently will get transferred to MoDOT, and then ultimately MoDOT will transfer it to us. And just so you know about the status of all of that, all of the right-of-way and all of the areas that MoDOT already held that we need in order to complete that project, MoDOT has already transferred those to the city, so we are already in receipt of those. This is the last piece of land that we will be able to need to have in order to proceed forward with that project. And because it was held by Office of Administration as opposed to MoDOT directly, they're going to transfer it to MoDOT, and then MoDOT can transfer it to us. That bill is actually being heard today at 4:30 or as soon after as possible when session ends. It is in front of the Special Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs. It's being carried by Representative Catton, who is a representative from the Blue Springs area. And it was sent to that committee, and it's being sort of handled by that representative, all because of the efforts of Speaker Patterson on our behalf. Today, during the hearing, MoDOT will be there to just answer questions, just for information purposes. Also, Representative Catton will be there. We provided a kind of a white paper, kind of more significant than a white paper, to Representative Catton and Senator Searpoy both. Senator Searpoy is handling the companion bill in the Senate. But we provided that white paper so they have all of the information and have something good to testify from. Zach Pollock is going to go in and testify briefly on our behalf as well. And then we've been given the opportunity to provide written testimony. And based on my conversation with city manager over the weekend, I believe he was going to be working on that today. And really, they just wanted a short, sort of one-page summary and what this was going to do. So a short white paper kind of a thing. We already have the information. It's probably just going to be as simple as paring down the information that we provided to Representative Catton. So hopefully that is going to come out of committee, hopefully today. Now, when it will get to the floor will remain to be seen. There's still a lot of bills that are still getting referred, and they're not doing a whole lot on the floor right now of the body. But hopefully that will get there pretty quick. Do you have any discussion or comments on that one before I move on? Okay. There is a repeal, if you'll notice in here, it's Senate Bill 10, and this is the bill that repeals the sunset on design build. It specifically allows municipalities to continue to use design build. I think we've used it a few times. There are times when it's useful. And so having that opportunity is probably a good thing for us to have access to design build construction, although typically we go through a little more methodical approach to our design and so on. I believe MML has testified in favor of this bill as well. The next one down, officer resources, it says on their report, that's Senate Bill 92, and it has to do with sort of the agreements that we have with other jurisdictions to provide support in the event of a crisis. So it could be fire departments, it could be police departments, those types of agreements. This bill expands on our ability to do that, and it specifically is designed to help all of the jurisdictions in the Kansas City area who are going to be facing challenges with the World Cup. So I know there have been several police chiefs from around the area that have been in favor of this bill. I haven't talked to the Travis or Chief Forbes about this, but I don't think we certainly wouldn't have any reason to not be in favor of it. Anything that helps us kind of get through what's coming with the World Cup will probably be kind of helpful. Other bills, we're watching several other bills, but there is one specifically on special taxing districts. David Bushek has provided an analysis of that, and we have provided it to our lobbyists. And kind of when the time is right, hopefully some of the things that we see in there that maybe are problematic, they'll be able to use that information and help the legislators see why it may be a problem. But other items in there are kind of helpful. David thought they gave some clarity to things, so we were kind of happy to see that. The final one that I'll talk about was related to sunshine law. Sunshine law bills have a tendency to get turned into Christmas trees, and they end up with all kinds of issues hanging off of them by the time they get through, and they very rarely end up passing. But this bill, specifically the way it is designed, allows for closure of records if the document contains identifiable personal information of a 17-year-old or younger. Previously, there's no differentiation between a minor necessarily in the sunshine law itself. We've made a lot of arguments at different times over the years that some of the laws related to juveniles kind of preempt the sunshine law, but I think this is a desire to actually put that same information into the sunshine law. Like I said, the big thing today is that our bill is going to be heard in committee today around 4:30. But I think we're in a good position on that. Our lobbyists kind of wanted us to keep a little bit of a low profile. They're wanting the bill to just kind of get in there, have the hearing, and then slide right on out and not make a big issue of it. Oh, I will say one other thing. Our local representative, Kim Strickler, has also filed a bill. I believe that number is 1232, that is identical to the other bill. He did that because he wanted to provide support from the other side of the aisle to our bill. I think we had a little bit of concern that maybe there had been some feathers ruffled or something by the way this had happened with the bill being carried by a representative who wasn't their district. It's just a nearby district. But I know Zach and John have both had conversations with Representative Strickler, and we don't have any issues. He's good. He just wants to make sure that he shows support from the other side of the aisle as well. So, I mean, those are the big things we've got so far. We're still really early in the session, although the lobbyists do report that things are moving, and it isn't the deadlock that we have seen the last few years in the Missouri legislature.
Great. Anybody have anything they want to ask Mr. Head or?
I'll ask one question, Chair.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I read the report, and it says that there's 2.6 billion in ARPA funds. Seems like that is larger than what I remember. I thought it was 2 billion, but and it says it must be fully expended by the end of 26. So do you think, Mr. Head, that that means that they're going to be making a lot of big decisions in June of 25, since it needs to be done by the end of 26? I mean, they can't wait till June of 26 to spend those dollars, can they?
And realistically, it may be hard to spend that much money. I mean, fully expended, does that mean the project has to be done too? I'm not sure what that ultimately means, but
well, I was really hoping to get an answer to that by the time we go see the lobbyists next week. Maybe you can
okay.
let them know.
All right. Well, we can we'll see. I'll see what I can find out about that.
That's going to be something we'll be talking about when we go visit them next week, and I want to make sure I kind of understand. So if Zach or John could
yeah.
Or based on, I mean, you've been through this before, Mr. Head, your staff and our staff, with all the funds we received years ago. What is it, the same type of language or what? So,
you know, I thought when it said that it had to be expended, they actually had to be expended, or at least like the project had to be well underway, like fully committed. But you know,
that's why we're going to go with some asks, and we're going to give them shovel ready stuff that are going to be done by the end of 26.
Yeah. I think that's the way to approach it. They want to have some place they need to park some money, you know, for fear of losing it. I mean, maybe they're content with it going. It says in here that it goes back over to the foundation formula for schools. Maybe they're content that it goes there. But if we can walk in with shovel ready projects, it feels to me like that's the way to go. I saw Crystal had turned her audio on.
I was just going to share. So for our projects, it had to be actually expended. So we actually had to have paid whatever we were asking for, whatever we were using it for or asking for reimbursement for. I do know since then there have been some rulemaking changes because there were so many authorities at all different levels for all different kind of branches of ARPA funds, because there were so many different ARPA funding sources, different types of programs, that a lot of them have had rules that are much more lenient than they were for us under the money we received. So it may be a little difficult to track down, but
okay, thank you.
Not everyone did as good a job as we did, which, I mean, you can see with the county next door, but.
Yep.
Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you, Mr. Head, for the update. Got a couple follow-up items there for the mayor. I'll move us to roundtable. Anyone?
Chair, I'll just say we're going to go to Jeff City next week. A few of us. I do have that last month in this meeting. I talked about having a presentation better than what I had last year, even though I thought I did pretty good last year. I want to beef it up better even. And so staff's working on it. I haven't seen a copy of it, but we'll make sure that we get hard copies to all of the representatives and senators. And it's going to be about 470 and all the congestion and the need to upgrade 470. And then the other two things I was going to add, you only get, you have to go fast. It's only, 25 minutes. You get 30-minute window. So we're going to go to make friends, of course, and just build relationships. But the bulk of it, we'll talk about that. But then was also going to just make sure that I had those shovel-ready items that we're working on that they could possibly, if they do have money at the end of the year, I want to make sure they know what's going on in Lee Summit. And public safety is always a big one. So we got that Joint Operations Center. We've got some different things that are going on there. And anything else staff can put in the presentation. And then third, I just want to make sure that they know about and feel welcome. We want them to come to our ribbon cutting for that downtown farmers market. I mean, this is something that we want them to be a part of and be proud of and be knowledgeable about. So I was just going to kind of push that, because that's one place where we can host some 2026 World Cup type events and such. So we want to make sure they're up to speed.
That's a great idea. Love it.
Thanks.
Anything else? Anybody else?
Yes, one more thing. And then next month, I will go to Washington. I'm going to DC for a trip. It's never been as fruitful all these years as the Missouri is going to state, the Jeff City. We don't sometimes, most of the time we don't even actually get a meeting but we meet with the chief of staffs. And this year I'm going to push really hard, even though, and a couple of our representatives and senators they don't want to be a part of anything that they consider earmarking or whatever. So it's a little bit of a challenge, but I want to try to get in front of Sam Graves this year, even though he's not our representative. He used to be, and we have enough people that know him, and we have enough connections to him that if we can get in front of Sam Graves, he's the chair of the transportation department, of the transportation committee, and that's what we'd really like to see. Who we'd like to see partner with the state of Missouri with regard to 470. So it's kind of the plan. Trying to hope we get some help though from some people that are connected to him, such as Senator Searpoy, Speaker of the House John Patterson, things like that. And we have been in touch with Chief of Staff of Sam Graves' office, but you just got to keep being relentless.
Yep. All right. Anybody have anything else?
That's the next meeting, if you're ready.
Yep.
March 10th at 11:30.
All right. March 10th, 11:30. Great. All right. Well, with that being said, I will adjourn this meeting at 11:50.
Oh, I think Mayor has a.
Oh, sorry, Mayor. Sorry.
I'll be in DC.
I unadjourn it.
I'll be in DC that day. I'll be heading to DC that day, so I won't be able to make that.
Okay. Well, we'll see if we have quorum. If not, we'll just look for an update the following month. All right, great. Well, thank you all. I'll adjourn this meeting now officially at 11:51 a.m.